Hi guys, so today I'm going to be doing my Sagittarius tutorial. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. It's a zodiac sign. It's the last one I'm going to be doing for this series. I know there's another one that just came out that's like rare or not as popular. I'm not going to be doing that one. I don't recognize that one, so I'm not very... yeah, we're just not doing that. So this will be the last zodiac that I'm doing for the series. So I haven't done one in a few months, and there's a good reason for that. I wanted to make sure that for this one in particular, I kind of waited because I was pushing them out like around every month. I know this one I'm really late as far as the dates are, but you know, it's the last one. I think my next video for like the Zodiac series is kind of like an overview of all of my looks. I thought that that would be really cool. Just so I could see like what I could have improved on and what I couldn't have improved on, and like it's a whole mess of stuff. But anyway, so for people who aren't familiar with the series, is basically I went to a website and found colors within that palette for that zodiac sign. And I use those colors to make a look, basically. So, for example, my Capricorn tutorial, I had to use gray, navy, white, khaki, and black, and I did a whole look on it. My original plan was to be able to do, like, really creative, cool stuff, like, even use, like, gray blush and stuff like that, but it didn't quite work out, so... there's little itty-bitty things that I could change. But since this is the last one, you know, the colors aren't very different. So anyway, so to be a Sagittarius, you have to be born between November 22nd and December 21st. Now, I don't know if those dates have changed or if it's a little... zodiac sign dates are really weird, like it just cuts off. So, the colors I have to use are saffron, cornflower blue, and sienna. So, sienna is kind of like a brown, which is fine. And the saffron is like a orangey brown. Like, it's like a rust color, but with more orange in it. And then the cornflower blue, there's actually a flower that's cornflowers that are blue. So, you know, the colors are kind of like iffy. Because not a lot of people use those colors. I can get the sienna. That's common. But the saffron and cornflower blue, a lot of times people don't use orange and blues together because when you mix them together, it turns into brown. So I'm kind of going to use that to my advantage. Hopefully it works. And I still have my little notepad thing that I haven't used in forever. I really don't... when I make videos, they kind of just pop up in my head. And I haven't recorded a video in forever. Like my last video when I did my no foundation, that's been sitting on my phone for, I want to say like 2 months. Like I just haven't had any like eureka moment when it comes to recording, and then I've been super busy with my other job because I have a real job because I'm an adult. As you can see, I've been sculpting a little bit more. I have Harriet, my old hag. I got like a messed up tree. I got my characters over here, which I did a character reveal video. I might take it down because it's not relevant. And then I got my little dude right here. And then I have a few up top that I'm working on, so you might see them in a future video over here. So for this video, I'm going to start out with my eyes first because I know this palette has a lot of fallout. And my grandmother's vacuuming in the background. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Alright. So I'm going to start with my eyes, and for my concealers, or one of my concealers, and just to have a good base for the eyes, I'm going to be using my Benefit Boing Cakeless Concealer. This is in the shade number 1. This is the lightest shade that I know of that they have. This is exactly what the name says. It doesn't cake. It's lasted on me. And with me having... my eyelids tend to crease a lot, especially throughout the day. So this is a really good one to use as a base. Any concealer that just doesn't fit with me under my eyes, I normally use as a primer. So I'm going to take the sponge. This is a Morphe sponge, I believe, or a Sephora sponge. And I'm just going to blend this out. And the good thing about starting with your eyes first is that you don't have to worry about fallout on your face when you have your foundation done. That, and I kind of want a neat line right here, because when I looked up a description of like what a Sagittarius is like, it mentioned, the article that I read, or a few articles that I read, mentioned that, you know, normally they're very curious, so very organized, very like straight edged, like what I like to call like the rule follower, or real stickler for the rules. So I figured I might as well show that through my eyes, just like having straight edges and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so I have that done. Now I'm only going to be using one palette, and this is my James Charles palette. I wanted to use just this palette because I have so many palettes. I have so many palettes. But the reason why I wanted to use this is this has all-in-one. All the colors I need in this palette. And I wanted to make sure that when I do use these colors, that they simply just show up. So, that's my main reason why I'm using this palette. So, I need to clean my brushes. I haven't cleaned my brushes in a minute. I'm just going to use my color switch real quick. I did get a new brush set, and I don't know if I might, well, I might use one of the newer ones. Let me see. The brush set that I have, it's from BH Cosmetics. It's their Crystal Zodiac brushes. These are actually really nice brushes. I have most of these brushes already in a separate kit, or in a separate set, but I really liked some of these, and I couldn't say no. So I had to get it. I had to get a new brush set anyway. I noticed that some of my brushes, especially my natural hair brushes, are starting to shred. And I might have to get rid of them soon. Which is sad, because they're actually really nice brushes. But, you know, it's life. You just move with it. Okay. So, if you can see what I'm saying here. I had the sienna brown. Where's that sienna brown? It's hard to see in here. Okay. So, you can see I got the saffron color here. I got like the sienna color within here. Either one of these two will work. This is just a lighter sienna, and then there's like a dark sienna. And then I have the cornflower blue, and the closest cornflower blue is this one here. That's the closest shade to a cornflower blue as you can get. So, I hate it when companies do this. Don't do this. Put the names on the palettes. But anyway, so I'll definitely be using code James, which is this one. And then I'll probably be using 10% off in No Beans, just like these three here. And then, what is that one? Brother is going to be the blue. So I'll have this over to the side. The other problem is this palette's so big. And I could have gotten the mini palette, but there would be no reason for me to because I already have the big palette. So it's like, what would have been the point? Okay, I'm going to go back in and get out all these creases. And I am going to take a fluffy brush and set this with white eyeshadow from the palette. Just so I can blend everything seamlessly and there's no problems. And it just blends. Which I would be the type of person to have concealer that would set I used to be the type of person that would not set my concealer if I used it as primer, and then I would just go in with the eyeshadow. But what I noticed is when I would dip back into my palettes, the concealer would kind of have a thin layer on top of it. And I wouldn't be able to use that eyeshadow. I would have to dig up that top layer just to be able to use the eyeshadow. And I feel like that's a waste. Yes, I have many palettes. I'm counting, I think I'm at 28 now. But, you know, the point being that these do cost money. And I don't just go out. Like, I used to go out and just get anything that was new. And now I'm just kind of like leaning back and not buying as much makeup. I just kind of have, I'm just kind of like more particular and I have better preferences now. So, that's why. Anyway, now that we got that done, put that over to the side. So, now I'm going to take Code James, which is this orangey saffron color. And I'm going to put that into my crease. And that's going to be kind of like what I work off of. And just, woo! I forgot how much pigment this has. This is a very nice palette. Because it's kind of like a everything you need kind of palette, especially if you're a makeup artist. Then you kind of have everything in this palette that you're gonna need, and it's kind of like a helper because you don't just need to use this for eyeshadows. You can use this for bronzers or blushes or even contours. Like, it's just kind of like you just take it with you. It's nice. So I was talking the whole time, but what I did is I basically took this into my crease. I blended it a little bit more with that white. Just right here, just so I have a softer edge. And I'm winging it out here. And I kind of have to accommodate for a lazy eye, so on this eye always gives me a hard time. So I kind of bring that up, and it looks kind of funky because it's like just all one color and it looks really like blocky. It won't look like that as soon as I add definition to it. Okay. So, next, I am taking this deeper sienna. I think that's 10% off. Yeah, this is 10% off, and I might mix it with no beans. Nah, I think I'll just stick with that and see how that looks. And I'm just going to add this directly into my crease. And go all the way in. Blend that in. I am kind of going a little higher than the crease for this too, because that blue is going to be my lid shade. So I kind of want to make sure that I want to make sure that this is all blended and that this looks at least decent. And if it gets a little too dark, like this is a little dark, I'm going back in with that saffron shade and going over top and blending everything. And what that'll do is it'll take that lighter color and blend with that darker color so it has more of a gradient to it. And I have really harsh lines in my crease, so I'm just going to take my brush and blend that out. See how nice that is? I think that looks good. Okay, so I'm going to go back in with this white, and I'm just going to blend this edge at the very top. Not too much, just a little. Just so I have that really nice gradient. This is almost looking like a desert sunrise. Like, have you seen those pictures? Where you have, like, the tan color and then you got, like, that blue. I just thought of that. Okay. Take some more of that white. Blend it over top. And just to make this a little bit more even, because with this white, it looks really stark, like really bright, and I normally like that, but I think for this, because we're working with a lot of tones, like tans and like a sandstone kind of color, I think I'm going to go into, what is this, Canvas, which is this nude shade at the very top, just the shade right here. It's like my skin color. And I'm going to use that to blend this out. With the white there, it shouldn't be too much of a difference. It's just going to tone down that white a little bit. And then I'm going to go back in with this brush that I used for the saffron shade. I'm not adding any extra product, but I'm going to blend this a little bit more. And I'm looking down because I have kind of like hooded eyes. Not too hooded, but like if I do something in my crease, it doesn't show because my eyelids are there. Okay, cool. So for this cornflower blue color, I know how bad this thing stains. Like, I know it's going to stain my eyeballs. I want to use a brush, but then I don't want to use a brush. It's up to you. I think for this, I'm just going to use my finger. I mean, I don't have much of a choice. So I'm going into the shade Brother. And like, you see how much pigment is on there? God, this is amazing. That is like some serious pigment. So you want to be kind of careful and try not to get this into the crease too much. And with this palette specifically, it tends to get a little bit patchy. What I've found that helps, oh well, maybe you could put this in the crease. That helps is packing it first and then lightly blending it. Oh, see? Okay, that came out pretty good. Okay. So, this eye's gonna look a little funny because I kind of have to make the shape a little bit different because of my lazy eye. And I'm just taking it on my finger. I might pack it a little bit. Yeah. See, I knew this was gonna happen. Okay, fine. This eye look doesn't want to be nice. And surprisingly, this is an all matte look. I don't think for this series, I don't think I've done all matte. All mattes. I don't think. I don't know. If anyone's been following me for a long period of time and you know, and you've seen my Zodiac videos, see if you can find if I've had an all matte look. And I'm going back in with that dark sienna shade. And I just took it off on my color switch. And now I'm just going into my crease again. And what I'm doing is, I don't know if you can tell. Let me just close this real quick. Bring you in a little bit. Okay, so I have my blue. I have my sienna shade. And then I have the orange. So all I'm doing is taking some of that blue and like blending it in so it fades into that sienna brown. So let me add some more blue. And I'm kind of packing it over that blue, or over that sienna shade. I cannot talk today. I am really trying, y'all. And what that'll do is the blue will mix a little bit with that sienna color. But that's okay because then that just shows that there's a little bit of a transition. I'm getting blue everywhere. I mean, this doesn't have to look perfect. I just try to have it look at least a little bit decent. Shouldn't have picked this palette, but this was the closest one. It's just hard with this palette because you try to pack on the color, and then when you go to blend it, you lose the color. So you gotta keep packing it on. I mean, it's pretty and all, but I guess that's a disadvantage of having eyeshadow pigments versus eyeshadows. If you don't know the difference, I'm sure you can find a video for it, but basically it's eyeshadows have carmine, which are crushed up beetles, and then eyeshadow pigments have dyes in them instead of the carmine, so brands can still stay cruelty free and vegan. The problem is the FDC won't approve of eye pigments because they do have dyes that stain your skin. There's nothing bad that happens, it's just how it is. Can't change it. Okay. What I'm going to do, just to make this a little easier, I'm taking a Morphe 454, which is like a tapered brush like this. I'm just gonna take a touch of that blue, like I literally just, and that's it. And I'm gonna go right above where that blue is. And blend that blue into that crease. Right above where that blue is. And yes, you're gonna lose this blue on your lid. You can always reapply it, which is what I'm gonna have to end up doing. I might as well tap over it. Okay. Alright, so now that we have that, now we can go at and one more time with this blue and reapply it to my lid. This is a lot of back and forth, but the end result I think is gonna look really good. See, it brought back that blue. It's a pretty blue. I don't normally wear blues like this, but it's really pretty. It's kind of dark, but you know, with that blue there, it doesn't look like, it looks really smoky, but not like too smoky, if that makes sense. But I kind of like this. I kind of like it. It looks pretty good. Okay, one last time going in with the white. And I'm going to blend. Maybe take a mixture of the white and the ring light. Or no, canvas. Which was that nude shade. And just blending out those edges a little bit. And that's about it for the eyes. For right now. Don't worry. Oh, don't worry. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fantastic. I'm going to put this over to the side for now. And put this here for now. Okay. So to get rid of all this fallout, all you have to do is take a fluffy brush and just... Now the blue's a little harder to get off. But no big deal. We're getting ready to cover it. And it's going to look amazing. Okay. Whew. I do have an energy drink. Not sponsored. I needed an energy drink to get through this day. Because I am tired. I am beyond tired. I am very tired. Before anything, let me go ahead and get my... I normally, before I start recording videos, I normally have everything out and ready to go. Today is just kind of like, all of a sudden I felt like recording. So I don't really have everything out that I need. You know, no big deal. And since I'm going extra today, I might as well pull out all the stops. Okay. I have a small, not a small desk, but I have a lot of stuff over here in this area that you don't see. I'm still trying to organize my makeup desk. I do have a lot of makeup, and I'm trying to organize and make it pretty. Bear with me. Okay, so next, I am going to be putting on primer. So I'm using a silicone-based foundation, so I'm going to be using a silicone-based primer. That blue is all up under my eyes. So I'm going to be using my Farsali Skin Tune serum on my T-zone. Mostly in here, I noticed that my pores are really bad. They used to never be like that, and now they're getting worse. So I don't know if it's maybe I'm getting older, or maybe the makeup I'm wearing, because I do wear a lot of makeup. Today I'm actually lucking out and only doing one foundation. But it's just been really weird. Like, I've never had that before. And now all of a sudden my skin's just being weird. I'm thinking maybe it's because I'm older, or I'm getting older. But okay, and this stuff really works. It's really expensive. It's like $54, but it actually really works. A lot of Instagrammers use it. Not like, I don't have Instagram, but you know, this is one of the products that actually works. That and the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation and the powders, like, the stuff actually works. It's just the way they put it on their face. It just, like, doesn't need to be that heavy. Anyway, so next I'm taking this Bare Minerals Brightening Prime Time Primer. This isn't the original. I don't think this is the one everyone talks about. I think the actual one, it just has the original. But this is silicone based, and this stuff is really good. I've used this on multiple occasions. I still prefer my L'Oreal Magic Primer. I think that's what it's called. It's like a magic, it's in a little jar. I can't pull it out right now. Put a little bit extra on my nose area. But I still like that one better because even though it's in a thicker cream formula, it's kind of like one of those things where, I don't know, it just kind of like fills your pores a little bit better. I'm just putting it all over my face. Normally, when I put on foundations, I normally put on, here's my thing. I normally put on water-based foundations because my skin throughout the day tends to dry out. I don't know why. But, I don't know. I just kind of like water-based because it's kind of more buildable. That's just my opinion. Okay. So, next, I'm taking this Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Full Coverage Foundation. This is like full coverage silicone foundation. This is probably the most full coverage silicone foundation I own, or I've known. It's like this, and it comes with this big doe foot applicator. I feel like ever since Shape Tape came out, everybody's coming out with this. I'm just putting this all over. And it smells good. It smells like paint, but not like really bad paint, if that makes sense. It smells very fresh, but paint. Like there's like little hints of paint. It is so weird. I can't describe it, but it's like, it's good. That's all y'all need to know, is that it's good. And I reshave my sideburns. If you all didn't know, for people who are new or for people who just didn't know, for Halloween, I did a lot of liquid latex. And, well, let's just say the liquid latex didn't agree with my hair, and I ended up having to shave my sideburns, and then ever since then I've been shaving my sideburns. Yeah, it's not fun. Okay, so I'm taking my Real Technique sponge. This is a new sponge. It's been out. I'm gonna rephrase. The sponge has been out for a while, and I stopped using it for a minute. And then I've just recently rebought it. Oh, I forgot the stuff dries quick. With this primer and this, anything with this Bare Minerals primer, it dries super fast. I totally forgot about that too. And this actually looks like it's my shade. It's not. It is hard for me to find foundations that are my perfect shade because they tend to oxidize a lot. So this shade, even though it's F2 and it matches me perfect now, when we get in that natural light, I will show you how dark it gets. It's no big deal because I just blend it down my neck and that helps. But at the end of the day, like, it just gets bad. But you can see with this foundation and this primer, even though it dries fast, it really helps with my skin. If you can see. Got my handy dandy desk light from Five Below. I'll make it really, ooh, that's too bright. Okay. Okay, so you can kind of see, maybe if I hold it a little farther, there we go. You can see where my pores are just like gone. And you can kind of see where it's oxidizing. Just a little tiny. But this is like the closest I could get. This lighting in here is like real bad. Like real bad. I have my light here, but I had to dim my light here because it would not have been pretty. Because if I go full mode, oh well, yeah, you can see where it's starting to. It's showing every little thing, and I don't want it to show every little thing. But, and I think that's all the foundation I'll need today. Because normally, if you've seen my other videos, you will know I put on 2 or 3 foundations. Normally 2 on camera. I don't think I've ever done one where I've had 3. But outside of here, sometimes it's 3. But, you know, I think today is going to be a little bit medium coverage. Which is fine. Okay, next for concealers. I'm going to be using this one, but this is going to be second. First, I'm going to be using my NARS Creamy Concealer. So, I haven't used this in a while. I'm going to spray my sponge this time. I haven't used this in a while, mostly because of the fact that I have a lot of concealers, and there's just some where you get into a rut that you really like a concealer and you just want to use it all the time. And that's the main reason why I haven't been able, or I haven't been using a lot of makeup. It's because I'm using so much, or I have so much, it's hard to pick what you want to do. That's why I use like 2 or 3 foundations, because it's like I can mix this and this and make it look good. But then at the same time, what is my skin going to be like? Which, by the way, you should always take your makeup off at the end of the day. Don't sleep in it. Especially if you have a lot of makeup on, don't do it. I learned that the hard way. Don't do it. Don't do it. Just don't. I've had breakout, a palm breakout, and it's just not pretty. Okay, so I'm taking this NARS Creamy Concealer. This is in the shade Light 1 Chantilly, which is the lightest shade they have. It's still too dark for me. So, well, next to this foundation, it's fine. But, it's a thicker consistency. It's more of like a cream. And also, if you have your eyes done first, be careful when you go up by this edge. Okay, so I'm just gonna blend this out. Yeah, see this? Okay. I remember why I stopped using this. Under my eyes, you can't tell on camera, but it's creasing really bad under my eyes. And mainly that's because my dark circles are really bad. And I already have natural wrinkles under there. So, this concealer really doesn't help with that. I guess if you had, like if you didn't have a lot of wrinkles under your eyes and you used a lot of skincare and stuff, it would work for you. But if you got wrinkles under your eyes or you got crow's feet, this is not it. Oh boy. Okay, that's why I always pair it with another concealer, because it's just not looking pretty. I'm not going out anywhere today, so you know what? It's fine. Okay, I'm going in with my Benefit one. I forgot to say what shade. Oh no, this is in shade number 1. I think I mentioned it earlier in the video. But this is so good. I could wear this. This is amazing. This is one of the concealers that I will wear every day. I'm probably going to take some down my nose a little bit. On my cupid's bow, on my chin. I don't think I'm going to put any on my forehead today. I think it looks pretty good the way it is. Now, when you can see where I had zits and stuff. When I had those, like when they were fresh out the womb, I would use this concealer to cover it up. And that helped tremendously. And that's really what really made me like this concealer. Is it's the type of concealer where it's so full coverage that it covers up everything, but it doesn't look fake where you have to have a foundation with it. Like I've noticed that with a lot of concealers, where some concealers are really good, but the problem is they look so fake. Like they kind of like have that fake plastic look that it's almost like you have to wear foundation with it. This is one of those that you don't have to do that, which I am such an advocate for. Okay, I'm going in with my foundation sponge and blending out those edges because, girl, those edges do not look good. I feel like that NARS concealer was a bad idea. Yeah, I'm thinking that was a bad idea. Oh well. Okay, so for today, I'm only using one powder. This is my Laura Mercier powder. This is the translucent loose setting powder from Laura Mercier. I know there's a couple that she has. I'm just using this one because it's really translucent. And I'm going on the side that has concealer. I have powder on this side. I'm going to the side that has the concealer. And then I'm switching sides and going to the side that has powder. And setting my eyes. Oh, Lord. That just looks awful. NARS, why did you do this to me? I'm so upset about it. And then powder side. Oh, Lord. I'm not even that old. I'm taking a little bit of extra powder just to cook that bubble in. Oh, you can see it. Look at that. That is so bad. You can see on this side too. You can see it under here. Oh, I'm not even that old. That's okay. I can fix that. It's gonna be fine. I just want to make sure this concealer, because it's more of a cream. That NARS one is more of a cream. The Benefit one is more liquidy, like your normal concealer. But with the NARS one being more of a cream, it's a lot harder to set it for some reason. Oh! Set my nose, set my mouth, set my chin, set my forehead. Okay. Taking another drink of energy drink. Alright. Put these away now. Man, I have so many concealers in this drawer. Okay. And probably put away the sponges. I don't think I'll need these because now I have a powder puff, which is nice. Okay, so I'm taking more of my powder. And I'm taking my Laura Mercier powder puff. This is new for me. I've always wanted to get one. And now I have one. Other than my Coty Airspun powder puff, but that comes with it. So I'm using this. and I'm pouncing this all over my face. And this helps a lot better with setting in my makeup. I don't want to add too much powder because I'm going to be going in with bronzer and blush and stuff like that. So when you use powders or powder products, it's best not to use as much powder because then it makes it harder for your bronzers and blushes to go on your skin. So I'm just doing a little light stuff. Really going around my nose. I tend to have a problem, even though I'm not going out, I still want to look decent. Now I have a little bit left. Here. Slide my drink over. Oh my goodness. There we go. Put my powder puff back in it. Boom! Done. I'm gonna let this sit for a minute. So what I'm going to do is off camera, I'm going to put on fake lashes and mascara and maybe a little bit of eyeliner just to hide my eyelashes. So once I finish with that, I'll come back on camera and give you all the details on what I did. Okay, I'm back. So I used the Pure Pro eyelashes. These are in Diva. And as you can tell, like, these are long lashes. I don't think this camera can. I'm recording off my phone. So, like, you can see, like, those lashes are insane. And for mascara, I used my L'Oreal Voluminous Carbon Black. This is the waterproof formula, but you don't have to use waterproof formula. And then what I did is I took that blue that I have on my lids and I smoked it underneath my waterline, under my waterline. And then for my actual waterline, I used my Wet n Wild Kohl pencil. This is in the shade 603A Simma Brown now. It's like a sienna brown. So that is what's in my waterline. I'm not quite sure if it's going to stay, because it is a kohl pencil. It's usually made to be smudged, but it's fine. No big deal. Use whatever brown eyeliner you want. It doesn't matter. Okay. So next, I'm going to go ahead and do my brows. I'm using my Fenty Beauty brow pencil. I don't think I featured this in my last video or in a video. But what I like about this is this has a brush tip, like one of these. And it has this little brown stripe to tell you which side is the pencil and which side's the brush, which I like. Now, I like this. Fenty did a really good job with the brow brush. I know that NYX did it. Give me just a second. Okay, sorry about that. So anyway, as I was saying, this brush is actually, I know NYX did the same thing, but for theirs, it's very scratchy, and it doesn't really do what it's supposed to do. This is actually a lot better. I actually like this a lot better. So this is in the shade, this is the Brow MVP pencil from Fenty. This is in the shade Deep Black. Now the reason why I went with Deep Black is because my hair is almost black. So it just tends to work out better for me. So, and I like this pencil because it's thin, but the pigment on it is like not so waxy. Like some pencils are really waxy where you have to really scrub in to get it. This is very glidey, very soft, and I like it a lot. And my hair is all up in my face. It's like that. I'm not going to do anything crazy. Like, I'm not using a pomade for this. I do have these fake lashes on, which makes it a little harder because these lashes are so big. I used to wear these lashes all the time. And then I just stopped wearing fake lashes. I feel like they were just so much of a hassle to put on. And, woo, Lord. These brows are sisters. Definitely not twins today. Let's fix that a little bit, you know. This one was not right here. Maybe it's because I let my eyebrows grow out so much. That might be it. So, I'm gonna go ahead and extend this out. Dad. I hate my dad so much. He's singing. He's just being a pain because he knows I'm recording a video. So anyway, I'm going back in with the little brush part. And I'm going to blend in that product. It's better to blend it in now than to wait. Just so I have an idea on where else I need to fill in. My brows are pretty full as is. But I just like having that extra, like, volume. Like, what's the word? Not brightness, like that extra, you know. My brows are nice as it is, but, you know, it's just, I like a little extra. Like, I'm extra. For people who know me outside of this camera, they know I'm extra. Like, what you see on camera is me. I don't hide it. All me. Okay, speaking of extra, because we're gonna go there. Because this is already kind of giving me like desert vibes, I'm definitely going extra for this. So I'm gonna be using 3 bronzers. Given they're all different shades from lightest to dark. So first bronzer that I am using is the Pure Bronzing Act. This is the matte bronzer in light. This smells so good. It smells like chocolate. Oh my god. But I'm hitting pan on it, as you can see, and I'm just like, it's a really pretty blonde bronzer, and I just don't want it to go. I don't want to be out of it. Oh, I should probably wipe off the extra powder that I have on. Okay, I'm gonna take a big fluffy brush. Brush off all that powder that I had on earlier. Brush all that. Okay, now go in with bronzer. My goodness. And another thing with not having sideburns is now I can have a clearer view of where I need to put my bronzer. But as you can tell, why does it look so patchy on camera? It's not patchy in person, what the heck? Another disadvantage with cameras. I'm just going around the perimeter of my face. I don't know why this is looking so patchy. This is not patchy in person. So I'm just adding a light layer of this. So when I go in with my darker shades, it'll be fine. It'll be more of like a gradient. Okay, so next I'm taking my BH Cosmetics number 4. This is from the Crystal Zodiac set. This is an angled contour brush. And I'm going to take my Fenty Beauty bronzer. This is in Shady Biz. This is a pretty one too. I'm hitting pan on that too. I don't think you can tell, but there's a little tiny dip in it. And I'm just gonna put that right over top of that light shade. And it kind of mixes, my goodness, it kind of mixes, so it's a lighter version of this bronzer. Now, I've worn this bronzer by itself, and it looks amazing. The only issue is I can only do that in the summertime because in my winter shades of foundation, it looks like a hot mess. It looks very muddy. So, and I don't want muddy. So, if I can get my hair to stay out of my face, I could show you, and my stomach's growling, even though I just ate a few hours ago. Okay, so, I don't know. Okay, so you can see where I have the lighter shade here, and then I have my darker shade right here to outline that. And then my final shade, which is my darkest shade, I am taking the, let's tone that brightness down. I'm using my Kylie bronzer. This is in Tawny Mommy. Tawny, I think that's how you say it. Tawny? Tawny? Whatever that is. And this is like super dark, and super red. So all I do is I take this brush. This is from Five Below. This was in a kit. But I literally just tap once. And when I do my deeper contours, I go from the top of my ear down my cheek. And right up in here, I go in circular motions. And then I just go and do the same thing on this side. So right here, I go in circular motions, and then I bring it down. And then just to get rid of this harsh little line here, on camera it looks a lot worse. It doesn't look that bad. I'm just taking my Fenty, or my brush that I use for my Fenty bronzer, and going right over top on that edge where that is, and just blending. See? So you still have, on camera, this looks really bad. I don't know why. I mean, you can definitely see it, but in person, it does not look like this red. And it doesn't look patchy or anything, like it looks fine. I don't understand. Anyway, so, put all these away. And maybe just to show that I'm not going crazy, I'm going to take my pure bronzer again and just tap over top. Just, not a lot, just tap. Okay, that helps. I don't know why it's showing up like that on camera. That's so weird. Because it's not like this in person. That concerns me. Maybe it's because it's on my phone. That might be a reason. Don't record. If you're going to make a YouTube video, try to do it with a real camera. Don't be like me. I just don't have money for a real camera. So. Okay, so next I'm taking blush, and I'm still using my BH Cosmetics Zodiac crystal brushes, whatever they're called. This is in number 3, but this is like a dense, like flimsy, I don't know how to describe it. It's round and it's flimsier, but it's still dense, if that makes sense. But you can tell I've used it. And so for blush today, I'm thinking maybe a little lighter, like a peachy pink. So this is the pure, this is new. This is the Blushing Act. This is the matte blush in Pretty in Peach. And this is beautiful. They have a berry one. But see, like, that's what I'm talking about. This shade right here, magnifique. And you don't need a lot. Like, you only need a little. So I'm going to put these on my cheeks. And what I do now is a new technique that I've been doing is I tap in the blush first and then I blend it. Just so I have the placement of the blush where I want it, and then I can blend it out. and it fades. And it's pretty. And then if I need to build it, I just tap in one tap at a time and build it up till I'm happy. Now I love blush. Especially peach blushes. Ooh. Ooh. Those are pretty. But I figured for this, I didn't want peach because I'm already doing like a sandstone kind of thing. I kind of wanted a little bit more life. So that's why I went with peachy pink. Okay. Now, I am going to spritz my face with a little bit of setting spray. I just don't know which one I want to use. There's a lot. Actually, let me go more drugstore today. Okay, so for right now, I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Cucumber spray. This is primer, setting spray, and then refresh spray. But I use this for setting spray because it's hydrating. Let me just... And you don't need a lot. That stuff will mess you up. But I am going to close my eyes. I know this is really weird, and this isn't like me, but the reason why I close my eyes with the spray is because it'll crease up my eyeshadow if it hasn't already. I mean, my eyeshadow creases anyway, but this really creases it. So I try to wait till it's totally dry, or almost completely dry, in order to open my eyes. But this spray, it's like a dewier setting spray, which is nice for the winter time, especially when it gets really cold. It helps my skin from not drying out. And I can tell that it's already done the thing that I said it was going to do. I'm going back in with more blue. This is hard to work with. And I'm kind of trying to go around my lashes. I did use eyeliner. I used the Steel liquid eyeliner, because I wanted to try to hide my band of my lashes. So I did do that, but it's already kind of wearing off. Not wearing off, but like already covered. So I'm just going back in with that blue. Oh my god. This is just how it's gonna have to look. I'm not about to keep fixing this thing all day. So if it looks bad, it's just gonna have to look bad. Okay, next is highlighter. So I have a few brushes here. This one. So I'm using the Lunar Beauty highlighter, or Moon Prism powder in Mercury. This has like a goldish tint. It's like a gold white kind of highlighter. If I can open it. There we go. It's very nice. It's powdery, but it's soft powder, if that makes sense. But this is what I was saying, because I added so much powder, is that now the highlighter may not set well on my face, which is fine. It's no big deal. And right here on my nose. I only need a little bit, no big deal. I normally go extreme highlight, but I figured today will just be one of those days where I just kind of do this. Okie dokie. That's all there is with that. And then, just for giggles, I'm going to take this Morphe Jeffree Star spray. This is in the Starberry. I think this is the only one he had setting spray wise. But it's strawberry, but it has like the undertones of marijuana. smell, which I'm not a fan of. I don't know if he meant to do that on purpose. Just to me, it has the strawberry scent, and then you smell the marijuana smell. I don't really like the marijuana smell, but strawberry I can handle. Marijuana. But anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and spray. And it's as fine as and it's a fine enough mist to where it just sets over. I'm out of my regular Morphe spray, so I couldn't use that. Which is sad because I really liked it, but I ran out of it, so. Energy drinks, man. They're good. Actually, for my inner corner, I might take more of this gold highlighter. I don't need much. I just need a little tiny bit. Just a little tiny bit. Oh, yeah, that works. Okay, so for my lips, finally, we're almost done. I know this is a long video. Not as long as my last one. Trust me, I went through almost 2.5 hours of footage from my other one. Not my no foundation one, my one before that. But this is the NYX Liquid Suede lipstick. This is in the shade Sandstorm. And just in case, I'm going to put a little bit of lip balm on. Just any one that you like. I'm just putting on this one because it's closest. And I just kind of tap that all a little bit, just so it doesn't like, it's not like oil slick, but just enough to moisturize my lips. And then I'm gonna take this. Oh, and it's like that sienna color. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is so pretty. I forgot I had this shade too. This is like really pretty. Why haven't I used this? Okay. Okay. I'm gonna overdraw a little bit. Just a little bit, just to add a little, just to be super cute. Phew! Phew! Woo! Alright, we got that off our chest. Okay, so now we're gonna go on to natural lighting. Okay, so here I am in natural lighting. I have just my window open, my lights in the background. But this is the finished look. I'm trying to hold my camera this way so I don't have to flip it later in editing. But this is what I was talking about with the blue. It kind of transferred a little bit into my crease, which is why I blended the blue. But it kind of creased a little bit. And as you can see with these lashes. So, you know, and the highlight, I didn't do too much. I did just a little bit, and it has a little bit of gold to it. And then I have my different colors. So, this is the last video of the Zodiac series. I'm so sad, but it was fun. It was something different. I may come back to it later and do remakes maybe later on. Like if I could pick my own colors, that would be cool. I'm kind of on like an artist block because I can't really think of any other ideas. So whenever I come out with a video with an idea, it's just gonna pop up. I know that my videos are they're not consistent. I am trying. I don't really have a real camera. I don't have anyone to help me edit. And then with YouTube having all these new rules and stuff, it's just kind of like, I've made my videos not for kids, because kids, you know, I know kids do wear makeup, but just kind of like as a safety thing, I guess. It's really hard. YouTube's new rules, it's kind of like a gray area, but for my videos, I put it as not for kids. It's not age restricted or anything, but it's just kind of like, it's off, you know. So I just wanted to give you all a heads up. You know, my videos may be less or more or less consistent, it depends. But if you guys like this video, please subscribe and like the video. If you don't want to, it's fine. I just need it so I have a little bit of feedback to know what people like and what they don't like. Obviously, with my other videos, there's a lot of views, but not a lot of likes, and I do get comments. I do love my comments. I do try to respond as quick as possible. But anyway, yeah, that's the video. So I hope to see you guys next time, and I hope you guys have a really awesome day. And thanks for watching.